Alright, so we've made up to L, okay, but I understand the C, the D, and the M very well. It's the Christ consciousness. It's understanding the devil, and it's understanding this Mary Magdalene aspect, okay? Your soulmate, whatever, your better half. Love the one you're with. It is here and now. So, like, if you're able to understand, interpret, and speak in truth when it comes to the collection or creation of energy via a cellular energy device, via a sacred geometry structure, via a numerical pattern found in Genesis 1 of the Bible, it creates a consciousness when you share this knowledge with someone else. Someone who knows you, someone who understands how you work. Not an outsider, but someone who knows you, okay? Maybe someone dumb enough to marry you. The Christ and the Magdalene consciousness is the transfer of knowledge from one to another with the knowledge that you are both the devil. Okay, we are all Jesus Christ. We are all Satan, Lucifer, the devil, whatever. We're all that. Okay? L, D, and the big S made by the 9 by 9 matrix is your Satan, Lucifer, devil. And you only have one C for the Christ. It's a 3-to-1. The bullshit, the bullshit, and the bullshit, and the truth. Okay? That's all that means. It's nothing about magic, biblical, religious stuff. It's nothing about anything you've ever learned in church. It's a sheer knowledge of these stories and interpreting letters in words via a set of coincidences that, you discern that it's truth and has validity, or you discern not in the otherwise. So, there, we've made a 1 by 9, okay? We've made the 1 by 9, which is the stairway to heaven, which allows for 8 steps, because it is a 9 plus 8 rows, 17, and a 9 column matrix we have to understand to unfold the mystery or the secret. Shh. That I think JF Kennedy wanted to share with everyone and see what happened. But they didn't like that. You know what they did? They shot him. Where'd they shoot him? A place with a trident in Dallas, Texas, guy. It's the 9 by 9 matrix and the path that energy travels and a relationship with number 11,732, which can be derived 3 different ways from a certain point of view, which make a symmetrical trident between the left and the right. Guy. So that sent a message, I guess, that sent a message to keep the secret society secret type stuff. But come on, guy. But why are they putting it out there? Maybe maybe they're just that vain. You're so vain. No, because the lyrics to the songs, they mean something deeper, I think. It's a message to you waking up to this consciousness, and when you hear the song lyrics for the first time, it sounds like they're talking to you or talking about your life, and there's some synchronicity with what you've learned about the secrets of creation and what they're saying. It's all I'm saying, okay? You start to see the beauty in everything out there, because everything that's out there is out there for a reason, because it all symbolizes the same thing. It's the same story told a bunch of different ways, okay? So, okay. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Anyway, so that's the budget, okay? So let's go with, okay, after all it's said and done, the number of magnets required is going to be, the cost of getting said magnets is going to be $11,732. What else? Okay, so you have to get the axles with a 23.4 degree tilt at one end for one magnet, which is 5 millimeters in radius, going down a shaft a certain distance, 4 times 120 away, 240, anyways, 4 times 60, sorry, 240, where the wheel is, and the wheel is going to have exterior wheel a certain shape and size that holds 42 magnets, and an interior wheel a certain shape and size that holds 8 magnets, and you're going to just stick them to the metal, and off, maybe you have to make some kind of connector thing that it'll latch into, like a I don't know, some kind of shape that they'll fit together, you know, once you have the first ones completed. And then you can build your array of 784 magnets and 784 star-shaped antenna, like jacks, guy. They're like jacks. And then your magnets are going to branch off of them coils that are tungsten, okay? A certain length, like maybe like 25 millimeters, okay? And they're going to have a certain amount of windings. We can calculate all that shit. And then you have a little bit of conductive tape or something insulating the spring from the magnet. But the magnets, the springs want to stick the magnet because it's going to want to be attracted to it. It's going to be stuck there, like really solid. So you have that little piece of like whatever tape there. At the other end of the spring, you're going to wedge in this little jack antenna, you know. So you're going to have to get little jack antennas fabricated out of some kind of metal or something, or find some that are the right shape and size. You're going to need to get pure tungsten or maybe tungsten plated metal and fabricated at a certain length, diameter, whatnot, number of coils. Like, what is that going to cost? Okay. And the number of coils you need, you're going to need like 6 times 784. That's a lot. So whatever that number is, it's like, yeah, big, like a lot. So this actual unit is going to cost probably, if we take the first thing and just extrapolate from it, let's go like, you know, usually they mark things up like 300% profit, so let's go 400%. So 4 times 11,700, I mean, like, we're talking upwards of 50 grand. An L grand, okay? Now we have to talk about paying for people's time to, if you don't know how to do it, to do the CNC machine computer design layout stuff. And, you know, if you can't do it, or you need the software and a computer to be able to three-dimensionally draw what you need CNC machined. And you just take the plants to the place and pay them to machine it, you know. And you have to 3D print the shit out of the structure. Now that's going to take time, and a 3D printer and all this. Like, double the 50 grand. Like, 100 grand now. And you need to have time to do all this. So your life stuff has to be paid for. So double that. 200 grand. It'll take time. Or as a collective, if we all do a little part of it and put it all together, then that's like, you know, many hands make for lighter work, guy. So, yeah, this isn't cheap, and this isn't simple. And this is unproven to work. If you take any portion of it individually and try to make it work, it won't work. It has to work in complete balance because I'm counting for 1/14, 1/8, and 1/6 to make the math perfect and match up. And I think that's divine symmetry of sacred geometry and the importance of the details, and the death is in the details. And like, you have to look at things like, again, 1 of 7. What am I looking at? What's my whiteboard? My whiteboard is a 2-dimensional plane in a certain orientation. Okay, there's a negative of that, there's a top and bottom of that, and a left or right in that. And there's a new 1, there's a new 3-dimensional cell. There's, you know, the 7 rings given to the dwarves to create the box. 379 code. You're 7777, because it's more than that. It's a jack worth the 7s. And that's just that iteration. And then you have to account for the vertices, and then you make a new 1, and then you go on from there. And that's how you get to like 64D, okay, after 32D. I don't want to build something with that many shit on them, but I mean, think about it. Think about it. Like, literally think about it. Think about the numbers. So this isn't going to happen if things continue the way they've been continuing. You have to literally make tetrahedrons with it. Like, I'm connecting with a guy in Ottawa, and I'm connecting with a guy in England, whatever, Britain. And we all get it. So we're making a tetrahedron that covers a significant area of water, I'd say. It's funny that the other guy was from St. John. Zzz, the Rock. Anyway, so it's like, the last step before you cross the Atlantic to England or whatever. And I'm in Ottawa, so it's not making that much, like, we're not really covering that much distance making our tetrahedron, but the more people that catch on to this, and the more tetrahedrons are created. And the tetrahedron is the 3, okay? Anyways, 3 fours. It's 3 fours, but anyways. 3 fours is a 7, 3, 7. What is that 7? That 7 represents a 1 of 7 when you look at it on a 2-dimensional plane from your point of view as a human being to create a 9x9 matrix. That's the 379 code, guy. It's creation code. It's in everything. 1 of 7 of 13 of 110. This is the Earth from a certain point of view. Armageddon is 1 of 1 of 4 of 5 of 6 of 0. From a certain point of view. The God number isn't 7. It's not 7-7. It's not 7-7-7. It's not 7-7-7-7. It's 7-7-7-7-7-7-7. It's infinite, guy. Micro and macro. I don't think I need to go into the periodic table. I don't want to. I want to go decode seeing eye charts made by some Mason. I don't want to decode any more movies. I don't want to decode any more songs. I don't want to decode any more speeches. I get the treaty of the Antichrist. It's like the people with the knowledge need to disclose knowledge. It's the disclosure project. It's always been in plain sight. They're not lying. You can't lie. You can't fault them for not lying when they put it out there. They just don't tell you. They're waiting for us to realize what it is. And the only way to realize it is to learn what they've learned through, doing whatever they had to do to get to wherever they need to be, to learn whatever they need to be, which could be anything. Whereas people like me and you, the goy of the earth, can all unite. It doesn't matter if you believe we live on a ball. It doesn't matter if you believe we live in a cell. It doesn't matter if you believe we live on a flat plane. You're all 1/3 correct. It's when you put them all together and get that 99.9999999999999. You know what that is? A bunch of nines. It's a fucking balance, guy. So balance is okay with me. It goes infinite. Do you understand? It's a Mandelbrot set. It's going into the plane. The heart field. The source where energy from wherever that made all this is possible. Okay? So, whatever. Think what you want to think. These last videos have been pretty outrageously out there, I must admit. Man, people from Britain say that I have a really dry sense of humor, and even they don't know when I'm joking anymore. I have always lived my life, ever since a child, like this personal mantra, always fuck with their minds. When I lay it on really thick, that means I like you. Because I respect the fact that you're smart enough to get my sarcasm. Which is fun, which is the devil inside. But when it's taken the wrong way and conflict and yada, yada, yada. Communication, man. It's the ability to relate from another's point of view. Now, if there's ever been a good point of view to use as a frame of reference, I would imagine it would be found on the first page of the King James Bible, the first 116 lines. Of 126 lines, which when you use some kind of weird cellular math stuff, which I have a video on, you can derive gravity as 9.80665, I guess, meters per second squared. Okay, whatever. I want to see my babies. I want to see my better half. Because, if I can convince the one, I can convince anyone, guy. So, yeah, it's your big guy JC and his fly girl MM, Everyone has that story from their own point of view. I'm not special. Because it's just one version of the same story told infinite types of ways, and you're living one just as your partner's living the same one but different, and we're all trying to find balance, guy. And I think I have the formula for balance. So, if it makes electricity, cool. Anywho, cheers.